everybody? Welcome back into Pritches Get Stitches. Glad you're here. Glad you found us. Holly, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been a week of being trapped in the house, though.
Oh, why is that?
So, it's winter here, so it's rainy.
Wait, well, I'm like,
Hawaii.
wait, winter? There's no winter? Like, what side of the globe are you on? You
Right.
southern hemisphere, so it's winter, but then I realized it's like still winter, even
It's
where
still
I'm
winter,
at.
yeah. So it's just, winter over here isn't snow. Well, there is snow on the Big Island, in case people didn't know that. It does snow in Hawaii.
Yes.
Only on the top of the island, though, or the top of the mountain.
Actually, I said yes like I knew it snowed in Hawaii. I had no idea it snowed in Hawaii. What do you mean it snows in Hawaii? It's friggin' tropical paradise.
On the Big Island of Hawaii, there is a mountain, a very tall mountain, and it snows on the top of the mountain. So you can be at the beach, it can be nice and beautiful, and there's snow. So, looks like I chose the right place.
Sounds
So
miserable.
anyway, it does.
Sounds miserable.
And winter over here, on this side anyway, specifically, super windy. So even though the sun was out a little bit this week, it was so windy that it was miserable at the beach. Like I went to the beach, I think Monday or Tuesday maybe, and I literally could only be there for like 45 minutes, if that, because the wind picked up. I got a really beautiful picture, then the wind picked up, and it actually
Sand
got
in your
chilly.
face.
Yeah, sand in my face. It got chilly, so I left and haven't been down. And wind is nuts today, just going crazy. It's
Well, at
been
least you have-
raining all week.
At least you have your
So-
car. At least you have your car.
True,
And you have your
True.
landlord to keep you company.
true. She did keep me company. We went to dinner last night. She was bored. She called me up. Hey, I'm bored. Let's go get dinner and drinks. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Who best
We
friends?
did.
It's like grandma. Like, you got grandma.
It's truth. It's very true. Except this grandma drinks and,
Our grandma drank
not like our grandma.
caffeinated coffee. I always thought that was weird. I mean, was that weird to you? Like as a kid, like growing up, you don't drink
Oh,
coffee,
she
and then
hit it.
Well,
She hit
we'd
it.
go to McDonald's, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a decaf coffee," and I like look.
But
at
she
her, I'm
had,
like, what do you mean decaf
but she
coffee?
had a coffee. She had a coffee maker at home that she hid. She drank
Yeah, I
coffee
know.
every day. She just hid it from us.
I have no idea. I just thought it was weird. The only time that I ever it happened one time, and she's like, "I'll have a decaf at McDonald's," like still in my mind. And like as I've gotten older, I'm like I don't care, whatever. But
Right.
as a kid, as like an 8-year-old, you're like, "But I just got
Right.
baptized, and I'm supposed to like not drink coffee."
Right.
I don't know. Still never had coffee in my life. You believe that?
You're missing out. I'm drinking it right now.
I know. I've been waiting
Did
for
you,
like 20 minutes.
I know. Well,
You're like,
because
I'm
here's what
making
happened.
coffee. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I'm actually
I
on time
forgot.
and ready for once.
Okay, I had to go to the store this morning to get the tuna and oil because I forgot to get it last night when I was out.
Yep.
And on the way back, so they're installing a roundabout
Okay.
at the only intersection into Lanikai.
So
And
is that to avoid like just to get rid of like traffic light or something?
traffic. No, there's no traffic light, but traffic was always really bad at that intersection.
Gotcha.
Because it's the only way you can get into Lanikai Beach. So they're putting in a roundabout to kind of keep traffic flowing, and it's taking freaking forever. I mean, forever.
That's the Hawaiian way.
Truth.
They're redoing the stadium there.
I know. Now it's
and
they
it's
may not
going to be
doing
like
it now.
Okay. But anyways, it's going to take like 20 years for them to like
Right.
do this stadium. I'm like, dude, freaking Jerry Jones built his in like 2 years. He had freaking
Right.
Jerry's World or whatever they call it. Anyways,
Yeah,
sorry.
they've come out now that they may not do that. They think that they're going to, because of the amount of money it was going to take to do it. Now they're saying they could use
Oh.
that on Maui to redo the
That's
Maui
good.
fire.
Probably
So
a
I
better
don't know what's
idea.
going to happen. Right. But they're redoing the roundabout, one way in, one way out. So they have one direction of the road closed. So you have to go the long way around. Well, then I'm coming home. They don't have a sign that says now the road going the other way is closed.
Yep.
So then I had to turn because it's like you don't see it till you're right there.
Right.
So I had to turn on the street, and then that street led me to a bunch of dead ends. It was just a nightmare. And then it added like 15 minutes to my time to get home. And then
That's
I
why
had
you didn't
coffee.
get that's today. Gotcha.
Yeah, that was this morning. So
Gotcha.
then I had to make my coffee. So
So
anyway,
roundabouts are nice, but if you're in a certain spot on the roundabout, like you get hosed because like you always have to yield to the traffic to the left, right? And if
Right.
you're on the we have a roundabout that we take kind of across the freeway there from us, and if you're going north, you always get hosed because there's a bunch of people that come from like the west, and so they're coming and doing this roundabout, or they're the people coming from the north are going there, and so you're like always waiting, like can I go, can I not? And it's a 2-lane roundabout, and so like I don't know, like you end up with
I just go.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, it's just like a nonstop cars, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, eventually, and then it's super like if you're on the inside lane, you can go straight, but if you're on the outside lane, you have to go straight. Then people try to turn from the outside lane. It's just a disaster. But you end up waiting. But anyways, yeah, roundabouts. But okay, so you got the what are we eating? You got your tuna and oil. I got what I'm supposed to eat. But before we get to that, Holly, Sean, my best friend Sean.
Screw you, Sean. You fake fan.
Oh, Sean sent me this picture right here, and he texted me and he said, "It looks like Holly went in and said I'll take the Mark Hoppus."
I mean, from the glasses to the hairstyle, man, it's like we're freaking twins.
I mean, I was like, it does look like Holly went in and asked for the Mark Hoppus. I will take the Mark Hoppus, and if you don't know who Mark Hoppus is, Dad, Mom, he's one of the singers in Blink-182, and look at Holly, and that's exactly what Mark Hoppus looks like, except in the dude version. But I'll tell you, I think you guys are probably close to the same, not close to the same age. He's probably 50, right? He's
a little older than I am. I think he's like 4 years older than I am.
But here's the thing.
He's still in his 40s, right?
Yeah, I have to give it to you. You look better than he does as a dude.
Truth. I mean, he probably did a lot more drugs and drinking than I ever did in my life.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That probably.
I don't know about the drinking. But, well, also he's had cancer. And he has survived that so far. So
fair point.
I do have to throw that in there. I just thought about that. So I'm glad.
You're an asshole. Jeez, what a jerk you are.
I'm glad Mark is still around because I am still jamming out to their music at
and I will
41.
Say, Sean texted me that, and I freaking died. First of all, I was like, "Who is this texting me?" And then once he was like, "Oh, by the way, it's Sean," then I died, and it was hysterical, and I couldn't stop laughing.
Yes. So
and it reminded me of all of the AI photos I did this last week. Cracking me up as well.
Yes, I'm going to post some of those right now. Here's some of these AI photos that Holly has. Apparently, if Holly were a man, I guess.
They're pretty good. Like. There is one that I want you to post after you post all of these photos. The very last one. I want you to post. I'll send you the pictures.
Okay.
I want you to post a picture of Chad's senior picture, the big. So I had Dad send me a snap of Chad's.
Why have I not seen this? And why do you have like a ambulance or something behind you? Like what's going on out there?
Oh, freaking trash can.
Trash can day. Okay. I mean, because I can hear the trash cans like they're outside of my window right now.
Trash comes twice a week. So they pick up the trash on Tuesdays, and either your green trash, which is like your lawn care trash on Thursdays, or your recycle trash on Thursdays. So this week it's the green trash.
Well, it's a great background noise.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay, so first of all, why have I not seen a picture of Chad? Like what?
Okay, so you've seen Chad. It's okay. So what happened was the other day I sent a picture to Chad, and I'm like, bro, this picture. Hold on, I gotta find where his and my text is. I'm like, this picture looks just freaking like you from high school, and he's like, oh my gosh, that looks like my senior picture. Okay, so I'm gonna send it to you right now so I can get your live reaction. So this is the picture of me. My fake picture.
Okay, the AI picture. Okay, I'm gonna post that up right now. Here's the AI picture. Oh my gosh.
Here's the picture of Chad. So I sent that to him. I'm like, bro, why does this look just like you?
I saw this picture.
And he's like, that looks just like me. And I'm like, I know.
I saw the picture.
Just like him.
I don't know if you see it, but I saw this picture and I didn't respond back to you or anything on it. I just was flipping through them when you sent them to me. It does look like him. I saw this picture and I thought of our nephew Ty. I thought your face, your square, like the square face, looks like Ty. I thought that it was very similar.
And there's a few in there where I would flip through and I'm like, oh, that looks like this person or that looks like this one. So then Chad's like, that looks just like me. And I'm like, bro, I'm cracking up. I'm going to send you the rest. So this happened on the day of the Facebook glitch out earlier this week. So as I'm trying to send him the pictures,
you mean the
it's
test?
like it's like glitching out. So I sent him the same pictures I sent you via Messenger, right?
Right.
It sent him those pictures like 3,000 times. Like, here we go. Ready? I'll just show you on my phone. Let me get to the bottom. So I'm like, okay, here they go. Okay, you ready? So we're talking, chatting.
Yeah,
so I'm going to just start scrolling up. I sent him 4 collections of pictures. The same 4 collections I sent you. These go on and on. And he was like, you just sent me 3,000 pictures. And I'm like, I promise I sent them once. And there was like 4 or 5 collections. He's like, it's still going. He's like, I'm in class. Stop sending these to me. I am cracking up. I am trying to teach. Because he's like sitting up there and they're doing something. But I was like, okay, I'm not sending anymore. But then he's like still responding because they're still coming in. And he's like, stop it. And I'm like, I promise I only sent 4 collections one time. Wow. He got them like 3,000 times. But we were laughing. And the AI one, the app is called Rimini. And they cannot get hands or fingers down. So if you look at hands or fingers, a lot of them I have 3 fingers. And some of the ones where I'm on the horse, my hands have morphed into the reins. Like, oh my gosh, I was crying.
This one right here, I'm going to post as well. I'm going to put this one up because I just was kind of scrolling through because I hadn't even looked at that. Like, I didn't even know you sent me that because I think you probably sent it when Facebook glitched and I had no access. I didn't even know that you sent these. Is this not right here? Is this not Michael Scott when he's holding the hand or when he's shaking hands with his boss? Remember that? I just sent it.
Oh, you just sent it?
Yeah.
Yes! But this all started, how this all started, and I even found this app. So this is the funny story. So my buddy Milwaukee.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Like some of these, like these ones of you as a woman, and you have like a mustache going on, like stubble going on.
I know. I'm like, I can't decide if I'm a man or a woman or a little bit of both in a lot of these pictures, or if I'm Fabio, because it's like I'm either a man, a woman, both, or Fabio. Those are the only choices. But here's how it all started. It started because my buddy Milwaukee texted me one night.
I have not seen these. This is awesome. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So let me get to how this all goes down. So he's like, hey, so I had sent him Friday night. I had sent him. Oh my gosh. I was going out. I went out remember, I met Nikki out. She went out with me so I could get some food. She picked up one of her son's best friends from the airport who was going to stay with them for a week. So he and I, so I got ready to go out. I sent him a couple pictures of me getting ready to go out. And I'm like, hey, taking myself out tonight. And he's like, oh, this is awesome. Have a great time. So then he says, it all starts where he says, hey, I was playing with an AI editor. He's like, it had me create a profile. So I did. He said, it didn't ask me to upload the photo, any photo they didn't ask me to upload the photo that I wanted to edit. So I just uploaded one. And there are a ton of photo editors. I just selected the top rated. He's like, so I uploaded your photo to enhance it just to see how it would enhance your photo, the one you sent last night. And he's like, according to my profile settings, it assumed I wanted to enhance your photo to be more masculine. Okay. So here is the photo.
That one I just texted you.
Here's the photo that I know all of these are so funny. So the photo that I sent him is right here. So Scott's put that up on the screen for you. So that's the photo I sent him. He sends me back this photo because it's assumed now that
you're a man.
It wants to make me more masculine. So here's the photo that I get. And I see it and I cannot stop laughing. So it's like,
you look like a freaking Jedi. Like,
right. I laugh so hard.
Han Solo over here.
And why am I wearing a one-sleeved velvet blazer, first of all? Is this like, I'm like thinking to myself, like, is this a fashion trend I just don't know about now? Because one, I don't follow shit like that. But two, like I'm in Hawaii where nothing's fashionable. Like we live in swimsuits and slippers. Like what is happening? And then the Adam's apple is so prominent. The stubble, like this started me down the rabbit hole. So of course I saw it. I had to download the app. And then I just lost it, was doing collection after collection on myself. Then I got Karen, I turned Scaren into a man and sent her those pictures. And then I sent my friend Erin, I turned her into a man and sent her those pictures. Oh my gosh, we were all just dying. We were laughing so hard.
This one in this red dress with the mustache stubble.
Oh, I know. It's like,
It's
what's
great.
going on here?
It's
and then there's a
great.
couple where it's like, I feel like I'm Zac Efron. You know, it's like
yes, there's like a Zac Efron like feel to it.
It's like Zac Efron or like boy bandy Zac Efron. Here comes the trash going.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So yeah, that was my Saturday night, and I might have been drinking some vodka tonics at home when I was doing that.
Wow.
So it might have made it even funnier, but could not stop
That's
laughing.
hilarious. I mean, I'm just looking at these for the first time.
Oh my gosh, some of them. There's one where I look like Robin Hood. Wait till you get to that one. Like I'm on a horse. I'm Robin Hood.
Yeah, and your finger goes into the
rain.
Into the rain.
A rain. Yeah, it's like I don't even know, a ringer, because it's a rain and a finger. Like, but it's literally like, am I a man, a woman, both, or Fabio? Those are literally the only choices. And some of them, like
my gosh,
like the one, was it the one you sent where I'm in the black dress? It was one of those ones, like the black dress one you sent, like the black one you said, or turtleneck. But I'm faced the other way, and my body is so like ridiculously, like I look like I have a giant head on a little tiny body. But anyway, Rimini, you can download it. You can do 1 week free. So of course I signed up, did the free trial, and then immediately canceled because you still get the full week. And then it's just like you can upload, 8 selfies, and then you can download whatever collection you want. So there was one that was like old time collection and mob boss wife, and change your gender or whatever. So it was just funny. And then you can retrain your model. So that's what I did. I retrained it. Took like 8 pictures of Karen, made her into a man. Took 8 pictures of Aaron, made her into a man. And it was freaking hysterical. Great. It was like the funniest shit. But that one that started it was like sending Chad that picture in a suit. And I'm like, bro, why do I look like the hair is the same? Everything's the same.
Whew, so, yeah, those are good. Those are good.
That was a good time.
So here's what we're going to do. Put it up on our poll. Post your best AI photo of yourself. Or what you think is good, because I know a lot of people do it. Like all of a sudden, I'll see them on Facebook. Right. So let's see your best AI post or your best AI photo.
And the scary thing is that they have one of the collections called dating, so you can go in. So it's catfish. Like that's why people don't look like you're catfished. You can.
That's what happened to that dude. That's what happened to your catfish dude. It was him.
True.
He's like, that was me. I just AI. I just use AI.
But I'll tell you. The one way that you can always, or at least using this app, and I don't know if it's every AI app, but at least on this one, you can tell if they use this app in there, if the pictures are fake, because they cannot for the life of them get their hands or fingers right.
Yeah,
so
those are, hopefully they struggle with that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But anyway, that was funny. And I died and had such a great time doing that. And just sent those pictures like to everybody. Like we were all just laughing so hard. But I will say, I do need to revise. I need to revise my answer.
I saw that.
So last time we talked about where would you go?
Yeah.
Any event that you could go to. Mm-hmm. And I decided that I would actually go to the moon for the moon landing.
You got to pick another one. You wouldn't actually go. You'd be waiting. That's my point. You'd be waiting.
I would just be sitting there like, what's happening? So, but then at least I can come back with a certainty and tell Dad.
Dad is
the moon landing.
Dad is throwing stuff at the TV right now. He's texting us right now. Guaranteed, we're going to get a text right now to our little chat that he has with us. Pritches Get Stitches on our phone. And he's going to tell us that he saw it on TV.
I keep telling him to watch that movie, Project Avalanche. He won't do it.
Yeah.
How could you fool that many people? I'm like, Dad, not everybody knew. Everybody in the command center thought it was fake or thought it was real too.
It was real. Everybody thought it was real. Only need to fool a few people. Yeah, you'd still be waiting, in my opinion.
Truth.
Although Neil Tyson deGrasse said, I mean, why would you fake it? So he believes we went to the moon. At least that's what he says.
Why would you fake it?
But I don't know.
Because we were trying to beat the Soviets.
Well, I mean,
there was a lot of
reasons to fake it, but
well, right. Well, that's what she said. But
man,
to beat the Soviets into space, and it's just like, we lost the technology, we lost the whatever it was to get back. What?
Yeah, how do
you have hundreds of people working on this, and not one of them can remember?
Yeah, like I don't believe we didn't go. Like we're not in space. Like I see some of these things. Some people, I watch a lot of because of what I watch. I get a lot of these conspiracy things and flat earther things always come up. It's intriguing to me. It's interesting to me because I see their side. Like I'm not there. I'm not a flat earther, but I do think that people are in space, because some of them are like, oh, we're not in space, like we're not on the space station, but like I think we are, like I believe
I agree
that.
with
But
that.
there's like just a lot of things like we really don't have a picture of Earth, like a real picture of Earth, but we have pictures of like Mars, and the Mars like there's really not like a picture of Earth. Like the picture you see of Earth is not real, like it's like a composite. But there's a picture of you see the movement of the clouds on Jupiter. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, I mean, but anyways, that's a whole different deal. I just watch all these things, and it intrigues me. It intrigues me. You know, the flat Earth theory of you know, you're not going to go fall off the edge of the Earth. I don't know if you know much about the flat Earth theory.
I don't, other than I assume it's kind of like the what's that movie where Jim Carrey?
Oh, yeah. Truman Show.
He's being Truman Show. That's what I imagine it is. Like you just get to the end and that's it. I don't know anything about it. Is that what they think? So
the flat Earth theory is that Antarctica is not actually a continent on the bottom of the world. Antarctica is an ice wall that encompasses this whole disc that we live on. And there's a firmament, or like a snow globe type thing, that is over the Earth. And the sun and the moon just kind of rotate. So it's not, and there's nothing else outside of that. So
do people really believe that?
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Like I could see people who,
uneducated. That's the only way.
Not even uneducated. Just like so conspiracy. I'm a conspiracy theory guy, but that's like the edge. Like that's the end conspiracy theory. Like that we live in the Truman Show type realm. There's just some interesting things. And somebody posted something the other day. Like I saw something, because I watch this stuff, I get the groups every once in a while. A group will come up, and this one's like Flat Earth group, and the guy was like, well, if the Earth's flat, why doesn't somebody take like a balloon really high, and if you get higher than the mountains, and you should be able to have a telescope and be able to see the whole world. And they're like, you know, I'm like, well, that's an interesting point. But then I just saw a thing where this girl, she just sailed around the world by herself on a sailboat. Yeah. And so I'm like, you can't start here and end here unless you're going around. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyways, they believe that
they're probably saying that's fake too, though.
Yeah, probably. Antarctica is not a continent, but it's an ice wall that holds all the water in. It's kind of like a bowl, so to speak. And there's reasons, like you can't go below, like there's a national, like an international world peace treaty that you can't go below the 60th south parallel, which is where Antarctica starts. And no matter what, no matter wars or anything, everybody holds to this, you know, peace treaty that you can't go explore Antarctica yourself. And that's like a whole thing. And so it's just an interesting thought, you know, and,
you're speaking of Antarctica. Oh, go ahead.
I enjoy watching it because I like to see, because sometimes things make sense. You're like, wait, what? And then you're like, oh wait, no, that doesn't really make sense to me. Right. But I like to know both sides.
There was an article that I read, and they were talking about, you said Antarctica, and it triggered in my brain that there was an article that researchers in Antarctica developed a strange accent after being isolated for 6 months. And it just talks about them being isolated there together, that they started shifting their language, I guess, started shifting, and it was a mishmash of American, German, Icelandic, Scot, and Welsh accents, because that's the main people that are, down there. And so it ended up being basically like they were there, 26 international researchers who were there for 6 months in the winter, and they just started kind of like their own. I don't know that it was done purposely, where they were trying to start their own language.
Yeah, they just are talking to each other.
You're around these people, and it was just saying that it was just a really cool article about how being there in isolation and you have all of these different accents, pretty soon they kind of start gelling together, and then it comes up with its own thing. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of made me think about that's probably how like new languages have come about over, because I'm always thinking about dumb shit like that. Like, how did somebody know that, hello means hello, but it's like how many mishmashes of languages, consonants. I don't know. It's interesting.
I had an interesting fact about the word hello. Could be like a fun fact of the day. Hello was never a So you know the song that the frog sings on Looney Tunes, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling."
Mm-hmm.
You know that song? It was actually a song that was making fun of the greeting hello, because hello was never a greeting until the telephone came around. And Alexander Graham Bell wanted people to say ahoy when they got onto the phone to talk. And they're like, we should come up with something different. So they started using the word hello, because hello used to mean like hello, like when something happens and you're like hello, like I'm startled kind of a thing. Or like, you know, like, I don't know, I do that to my kids all the time. Like surprising, yes. Right. Whereas now it is a greeting, and
interesting.
And it became because of the telephone. And then they went on to say the second one, another word, a high five, was not invented till the like 70s. Like it didn't even get into the dictionary, like high five.
Interesting. Yeah.
Till the 80s. So the things I learned on Facebook.
Things you learn a lot more than I learn, because I just watch like dumb shit and crack up and send them to you. Like, yes. I don't watch anything. None of like the stuff on my feed is like educational, which you think it would be. Name
an animal that has 3 letters in its name.
Alligator. Oh my gosh.
Alligator.
But then I was thinking, I was like, I mean, in theory, they're right. If they wanted it to be a 3-letter animal, they should have said, name an animal that has
3 letters.
Only 3 letters.
He said frog. He said, name something that comes with a summer storm. He said snow. Oh my gosh, that was a good one. That's Family Feud.
That was a good one.
All right, Holly, let's take care of this. What are we eating? I was highly disappointed last week in you because you went and you got Libby's Vienna sausages.
Which was the only one they had on the whole island.
I know. But you have to get the Armor brand.
Oh, that's what it was. I think it was Hormel.
That's the brand. Okay.
Hold on though, because I have to grab water. So you keep talking. I'm going to grab water. Keep going.
No, well, I'm talking to you.
Right, I'm listening.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing about last week too. You said, and they had the Libby's. They had the Libby's that you bought with the little, brown, or not blue, but it was like brown or yellow or whatever. And it was in chicken broth. And then I realized you bought the chicken Vienna sausages. You didn't even buy the chicken, beef, and pork ones.
Yes, I did.
It was the brown ones were chicken.
Yeah, but it said with chicken, beef, and pork. I read it to you.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it may have been chicken, but it did say with the chicken, beef, and pork. And again, how can you be disappointed in me when it's all Hawaii has?
I know, but look at these ones.
Oh, gross. Are you
barbecue flavor?
Barbecue. I'll take the barbecue bacon cheese.
So I had to just kind of show those off, and then I thought maybe I'd taste one of each. But here's the thing about the originals, Holly. I've got a special surprise for you.
Made a sandwich.
Before we started the show, I kept one. See, I have one left. There's one left in there.
Oh,
and first of all,
did you make a Vienna sausage sandwich?
When I pulled it out, this is going to be bad.
It's grody.
When I pulled it out, when I opened it up, it's kind of like white on top and then pink on the, so it kind of changes color.
Gross. Did you make a sandwich?
But before I started,
you did. I know you did.
I smashed it up. So I'm going to put a picture up here right now. Here's a picture. This is what Vienna sausage and mayonnaise looks like.
Yep. That's it right there. That's my childhood.
So
I will say that.
What you do is you take a fork and you smash it all up. Then you put some mayonnaise in it. What will you say?
Well, I will say that we did do polls, which we need to go into.
Yeah, we'll get to those in here in a minute.
We'll do those after the fun fact of the day. But crack me up. Steve Ratliff, Sean's brother, puts something like, what's the ratio of mayonnaise to sausage?
He wants to try it out.
For a friend. I love that. He's like asking for a friend.
Yep.
I just died. So
there's the Vienna sausages with mayonnaise. And Holly, I wrapped it up. I have made a Vienna sausage sandwich. And I've left it out. I've left it out so it's a little warm. And you may ask, why don't you put lettuce or something on there? Because we didn't have lettuce as a kid.
Put lettuce.
We just straight up Vienna sausages.
I have to interject. This has nothing to do with anything, but I learned something new about can openers. We open cans wrong.
Oh, you got to do it sideways.
We do it this way.
Right.
This is the way you're supposed to. But the problem is I can't do it this way with tuna because it's.
Yeah, so it just depends on the can.
Oil. Yeah.
On the can. And the one we have from Pampered Chef is that way.
Terrible.
That's a good one.
Terrible.
You don't know how to use it.
I hate that one. I know. You should be able to do it both ways. Yours, you can't.
Well, we have another can opener.
This looks
and
so
that one was
grody.
terrible. Isn't it gross?
I bought it.
Tuna in oil? No, you didn't.
Oh,
Tuna in oil?
Oh, I bought you the peeler. You guys had a terrible peeler.
So here's my weenie.
It looks so gross still. Okay, I hate
Oh,
tuna.
by the way,
This is the other
by the way, I did make a tuna fish sandwich out of that. And somebody had said it, maybe Mark, I don't remember. Somebody said, like, well, mayonnaise is mostly oil anyway, so you just put some mayonnaise. And you know what? We made a mayonnaise. I mean, put mayonnaise in it, put some relish, mustard.
Did you drain the oil?
I drained it out for the most part.
Oh, okay.
And then there were still some, and then because it's it's like water, drinking it and you eating it there.
And I hate tuna. Oh God, I don't even know what this is. What is this?
What's what?
It's not a piece of tuna.
Oh yeah, it's probably tuna.
It's like no. It's like hold up. I've got to actually touch it. No, it's like a bone
Jesus.
or something.
Oh, you got a tuna bone in there, huh?
It's like a bone.
Hey, dang.
That's good to know.
Should have eaten it and sued them. Made billions.
Ugh.
Hey, you ready?
I don't know.
I'm excited to eat the Vienna sausage, actually.
I hate tuna.
Ooh, it's taking me back to my childhood. He's like,
God, I hate
smells like
tuna.
dog
And
food.
this stinks.
Come on, Holly.
So does tuna.
You ready?
Look, I'm already gagging. Just like the thought of it, I'm already like, ugh. Okay, here we go. 3,
I'm just gonna eat the whole thing.
2.
Here we go.
The whole thing. Okay,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Childhood right there.
That takes me back to my childhood. Ugh, I hate tuna.
I'm
But
gonna try one of these
Tuna was definitely
barbecue
better.
ones.
tuna was better than the Vienna sausage. I did not gag.
Oh.
I could eat it down. Just not a fan.
Oh, look at these.
And the oil made no difference.
Oh, I just spilled
you
it.
spilled.
Look at this.
I
Barbecue.
mean, you're taking this to a new level, bro.
Barbecue. Look at this. It's in barbecue sauce or something.
Ugh,
Let's try this.
this is nasty.
I mean, it tastes
Can you
like Vienna
imagine eating
sausages and barbecue.
Would you? Oh, you could do those instead of little smokies.
So that, yeah. So that, you just warm them up a little bit. You got little smokies, right? That one, I don't think you make. That's for eating straight out of the can. That's not for making a sandwich. So I have a sandwich here.
I mean,
Let me try a sandwich.
Oh, okay. See how you like it. Is this going to be your new favorite thing now? Your new favorite sandwich for a minute?
I mean, takes me back
You like it?
to 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, kindergarten. Not kindergarten. I had afternoon kindergarten. That was the best.
Yeah.
Man. Vienna sausage sandwiches. I mean,
What is your thought? You said it takes you
Delicious.
back. Would you make another? Is this going to be your new thing? You're going to teach the kids?
Yeah.
All right, Steve.
So we got this one of
Steve,
chicken.
There you go.
I got this chicken Vienna sausage.
Probably tastes very similar.
I'm gonna save that one. Save that one.
Ugh.
Show the kids, hey, this is my childhood.
They may like it.
That's it.
Debbie, though, Sean's mom commented and said that they used to do it with sausages
Mustard.
and mustard.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Well, let's
that's
look. Let's
terrible.
find our Vienna sausage. Have you ever had a Vienna sausage sandwich? Smashed Vienna sausages and mayo. If so, what are your thoughts? Love it or hate it? We had 28 comments.
Did have quite a few. Okay, you keep going. I'm going to throw this tuna out because it stinks.
You make a tuna fish sandwich.
I don't like tuna fish.
So, had quite a few comments on this. Some people are like, never, not a big fan of canned meat. Mr. Nault, of all people, I thought for sure Mr. Nault would have had a Vienna sausage sandwich. It just seems like something Mr. Nault would do. I don't know why. But he says he never has. You told him to try it. And then Hillary said it's good. She said it's actually good. Just like Moose on the Mountain, a.k.a. split hot dogs with mashed potatoes on top and cheese.
And cheese.
To me, hot dogs do not taste like Vienna sausages and vice versa. I think they don't taste the same.
No, I think she was just saying it's a weird combination, but still delicious. I don't think she was saying it tastes like it.
Kuzak, she says she eats them on crackers.
Does she
Or
eat them? I thought she
ate
said
them.
somebody worked. I thought
Nope.
she said, oh, yeah.
Ate them on
She
crackers.
said she worked with somebody who used to eat them every day or something.
Well, an old teacher at my school used to eat them daily. I mean, they're cheap.
Ugh.
They're cheap. So, you know what I saw today, though? I've never had, and we're going to try it next week. I've never had it. You got to find it. It was called potted meat food product.
Oh, no, I'm not eating that.
Come on. It's called potted meat. I don't know what potted meat, Dad. Frankie One Eye,
potted
let us
meat?
know what potted meat is. Frankie One Eye never told us his answer, by the way.
He never did.
And he's not even answering. He didn't even read our text message yet. So Hillary, she just had the conversation the other day. She had one. She ate one the other day. A lot of people said no. Our niece Rachel said she loved him growing up. She's too afraid to try him now.
Yep.
A few other no's. Debbie with the Vienna sausages and mustard. That's a whole different like dynamic. The Vienna sausages and mustard. Like even like people who make like deviled eggs with mustard as opposed to mayonnaise, potato salad with mustard. Like that's a whole deal. Like we always just grew up with mayonnaise. Like we had mayonnaise, everything. Right. Mayonnaise in the deviled eggs, mayonnaise in the potato salad, mayonnaise and everything.
You know why? That's because Mom doesn't like mustard.
Do it different. Okay.
Mom doesn't, and I don't like mustard either. So I don't ever make anything with mustard.
All right, let's see what old Frankie One Eye said. He said, I have even fed them to my children who loved them in spite of the lies they tell now.
Well, and I responded.
And they were better if the meat had been in the fridge a day or two. Loved them. Vienna sausage and mayo. And you said, we only ate them because we didn't know better.
Truth.
Yeah, so lots of comments there on our Vienna sausages. Heidi said they didn't have any other option, but I'm pretty sure she said no. She said they didn't have any other option. It's Vienna sausages or nothing.
That was it.
I mean, we always had peanut butter.
Sure. Peanut butter was an option, if nothing else.
Tuna fish was an option. Todd told me, though, one time, because I was making tuna fish, and I said, you want me to make you a tuna fish sandwich? I was probably 6. And he said, no, if you eat warm tuna fish, you'll have worms that grow in your stomach. Because it was always warm. It was by the time we got there. So I think about that all the time. Like, if I eat this tuna fish warm, I'll have worms in my stomach.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. Scarin said she's literally never eaten a Vienna sausage. I mean, you got to eat one in your life.
Scarin's also vegetarian.
Yeah. Terrible life.
She's been vegetarian for years upon years. She didn't used to be vegetarian. And then one year for Lent, she gave up meat.
Just gave it up.
Never went back. Never went back. I mean, we used to eat the hell out of some nachos with meat on them.
I eat the hell out of some of this Vienna sausage sandwich.
Ugh, gross.
Dad told me
I'm
not supposed to eat on air. He said, it looks bad, but
just make sure you eat with your mouth closed. I think that's what it was. Make sure you close your mouth when you eat, because sometimes you like say something.
I'm like,
Right.
Okay. Here's one. Frankie One Eye, he put out the poll about salad dressing. Which would you choose? He never did tell us which one he chose. Ranch, Thousand Island, blue cheese, Italian, balsamic vinegar, and olive oil, or other. Lots of ranch. I didn't answer
because I answered on air, but I said it would either be ranch, Italian, or I'd make a Caesar salad and use Caesar dressing.
Mm-hmm. Lots of ranch.
Commented honey mustard. I think there was one honey mustard.
Yeah, she said.
Which I always forget about honey mustard on a salad. To me, that's always like a chicken nugget dip. I never think about somebody putting honey mustard on an actual salad.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
So I would say ranch won this poll.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Ranch won for sure. Yeah, red wine vinegar and salad oil. I just always remember like going into the fridge and like Mom would make the oil and vinegar salad dressing and it was always like separated.
Right.
And I
separated. No, that wasn't oil vinegar. That was Italian.
Well, whatever. It was separated and it looked disgusting.
You just shake it, but it was delicious. I didn't like it as a kid, but I like it now. You know what? It's funny though. Dad said his favorite was that, but Dad used to love the sweet Vidalia onion dressing. I bet he's forgotten about that.
Remember that time that
sweet Vidalia onion?
Remember that time Dad was eating a salad at the dinner table, and then he sneezed. He sneezed, so of course he puts his tissue up to his nose. He's Grandma Junior, and he had tomato in his mouth, and he sneezed while he had food in his mouth. He was chewing it up, and it shot up the the napkin and onto his glasses, and so he like sneezed and then tomato on his glass, and everybody thought
but it was on
eye
exploded. Wasn't it on the eye that it was on his eye he doesn't have, so he didn't know it was there.
No, I don't remember that part.
And like Val looked up, so he had no eye. His right eye was gone. When he sneezed, the tomato shot up
like instantly
onto the right side of his glasses and sat there. And then Val looked up and literally was like, his eye exploded.
Looks like your eye exploded.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got a good look out of that.
There's lots of good. So have you ever forgotten any ingredients? Few people have forgotten some things.
I like Heidi's response on that though.
She forgot something. She just doesn't remember what.
I feel like that's my memory. Like, I know I forgot something, but what I forgot, I don't know.
Oh, Frankie One Eye. Forgot to put fold the egg whites into the Italian cream cake, so he put it in after about 5 minutes, it being in the oven. And my buddy Chris, he forgot the buttermilk for the stuffing. I'm telling you, Val forgets something every time. And her reasoning made sense. She's always hungry when she's cooking. So, like every time she's like, oh, I forgot to put in the whatever. And you're like, okay.
That's why I don't bake. I don't bake because that's normally where you're forgetting ingredients.
You know, the one that only one person responded to, actually two. I don't know if anybody responded if you shared it on your page. I didn't look at your page. On my page, somebody said, you know, where would you go? You just said you'd go back to the moon landing. Where would you go? Somebody said, go see Jesus. And I said, okay, death and resurrection.
I almost made a comment on that, but I don't know that person who said it. And I didn't know if they listened to the show, and it would have been super sarcastic. So I didn't.
That's good.
But I can't remember. But I had it typed out and was going to hit send. And I was like, I mean, I don't know this person. I better not.
So your buddy Mark, he had the only one that had a response to that, really. Like nobody, I guess, would want to go anywhere in history. But it sounds like he would go back to an event that he, you know, when you say something and you're immediately like, I just need to like grab those words and put them back in my mouth. I feel like that's what happened to him with the mailbox.
Oh yeah.
Took these,
Frank Zappa. Was it Frank Zappa tickets?
Frank Zappa tickets. And he put them into a mailbox on accident.
With some letters. Poor
and
guy.
He just is like, no. He said he called the mailman and they tried to get him back and they never found him. Never came up. Mailman left her work early that day. Went to Frank Zappa.
He saw Frank Zappa.
Anyways.
Sure.
Well, there's our pulse. So
I hate that they don't use the polling option though. Like within a group setting, you can still poll, but you can't do it if you're just putting it out. Like our page doesn't allow it.
Yep.
So we've decided it must just be allowed like in a group setting.
I think so. Maybe we could create a group and then share the group. I don't know if that would work.
We could just create a group on our page called like the poll group. I don't know.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
All right, Holly. Last week you were going to talk to us about Texas Independence Day. So, because it was Texas Independence Day last week. But last week you talked about my birthplace because it was my birthday.
Truth. So a week late, but I've got 7 things you should know about Texas Independence Day. So, of course, March 2nd was Texas's Independence Day, but it's not the only Texas Independence Day. There's also Texas Flag Day and Sam Houston Day on March 2nd. Sam Houston was born on March 2nd. Texas Flag Day is also March 2nd. So
Sam Houston led the Texas fighters to victory on his birthday.
How freaking amazing is that?
That's a dude right there. That's a
birthday man. He's like, all right, let's get this done. Man. For my birthday, guys, give this to me. That's it. All right. The defenders of the Alamo weren't supposed to be there. So Sam Houston, the newly appointed commander-in-chief of the Texan forces, argued that San Antonio should be abandoned due to insufficient troop numbers. And the Alamo's defenders led by, who led them? I asked that right as you stuffed your mouth.
William Barrett Travis.
And?
Davy Crockett.
Close.
Jim Bowie.
Yep. Bowie and Travis. Those were the defenders, or that's
7th grade.
Defenders.
7th grade history class. Mr. Evans. Yep.
Yep. And little known fact, because I don't know, who led them?
Who? Santa Ana?
First name?
Mexican?
No.
William Barrett Travis.
William Barrett Travis. That's who our little nephew was named after.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Barrett was named after. Bear was named after that guy. So anyway, the Alamo's defenders led by Bowie and Travis.
And Bear is a avid listener. Even got his little buddies from like Norway. That he plays Minecraft with.
And still a couple little buddies out of Virgin Islands listen too.
Yeah.
I noticed that the other day.
And we have a new listener too from my family. Just FYI.
Who? Don't say Val. I know she doesn't do it.
I know Val doesn't listen. She's like, you guys are dummies. Ava listens. She said, Dad, I finished. Listen, she said, I finished season 2. I was like, oh, wow, you listened to all of them. She goes, well, no, I only listened to the last 6, but I finished it. So now I got to go back and listen to the first season and then the first episode. I'm like, then you didn't finish the season. She's like, well, I mean, I listened to all of them towards the end. So
right, hilarious.
I'm like, great. My kids are listening. I gotta careful.
Gotta be careful. Marla sent me a text the other day. She listened last week and was like, oh my gosh, I got a shout out on the show today. Like, best day ever. Just made my day. But so look, Marla got another shout out.
Another shout out from Marla. Look at that.
2 in a row. And then we got another follower on our page. I don't know if he listens. Mariota Tuiasosopo. Say that. Make that your tongue.
Mariota Tuiasosopo? Isn't he a football player?
No. He's probably related. Remember Molly? He was my boyfriend when I was.
Oh, is that
he's the one who did the pig. That's him, Molly. He goes by Mariota now, but he went by Molly when I knew him. Oh, that's Tuiasosopo. So there you go. Anyway, back to fun fact.
He probably doesn't listen.
Nah.
I just assume based on the numbers that most people don't listen. I just assume that. So.
Truth.
But here we are for those who do.
Still going. We love you guys. Here we are. All right. Next fun fact of the day. The men defending the Alamo probably never knew that Texas had declared independence. The battle took place from February 23rd to March 6th, 1836, and word probably never reached them that the vote had succeeded. Only one of the 5 original copies of the Texas Declaration of Independence remains. Mm-hmm. It was found at the U.S. State Department in 1896 and now resides in the Texas State Archives in Austin.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it resides in Trump's garage. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No. Next, the Republic of Texas. Maybe. Oh, okay.
I would say maybe Biden. I don't know.
Maybe. The Republic of Texas had 5 other capital cities before settling on Austin.
Oh, let me see. 5 other capitals. Let me see if I...
Can you name them in order?
Name them. Well, I don't know if I can name them in order, but I'm sure Houston was one of them.
Nope.
Dang. 5 capital cities.
Probably think that if you got one of them, you would get one of them. And that's it. Because
Gonzales.
No.
San Antonio.
It does start with a G. It starts with a G, though.
Goliad.
No.
What?
Well, you're way off. Think ocean.
Galveston.
So in order, the cities include Washington on the Brazos.
Oh, Washington on the Brazos.
Could you imagine though being like a 5-year-old? This is where you live and you have to learn how to spell your address and the city is Washington on the Brazos. Like that would piss me off.
Yeah. Imagine living in somewhere and you're like, hey, what county do you live in? And it's Bexar and you're like Bexar. And they're like, no, it's Bear. Or, hey, what city do you live in? And it's Mexia. And you're like, oh, I live in Mexia. Like, no, that's Mahia. What? Yeah. I can go on and on. Texas.
I feel like with Washington on the Brazos, though, can you abbreviate that to WOTB? Like if you were to send a letter to somebody, do you have to write out Washington on the Brazos or can you be WOTB? No, I mean, I know they go by zip codes anyway. However, I feel like I would write WOTB.
So where did Washington come from? Like Washington on the Brazos? Did like George Washington come down and like, hey guys.
I mean, how about you Google why is it named Washington on the Brazos while I finish these? And
is it even still like around?
I have no idea. But in order of the cities before Austin, it was Washington on the Brazos, Harrisburg.
I knew it was Washington on the Brazos. Now that you say it, just because of Mr. Evans. But anyways, continue.
Galveston, Velasco, and West Columbia.
West Columbia, that's down there by Houston. I've served a lot of papers. That's down there by Houston. I've served a lot of papers in West Columbia.
There you go.
The town is named for Washington, Georgia. Itself named for George Washington. It is officially known as just Washington, but after the Civil War came to be known as Washington on the Brazos to distinguish the settlement from Washington on the Potomac, Washington, D.C.
Interesting. So I guess some of the settlers must have come out of Georgia.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Texas remained independent for almost 10 years. March 2nd, 1836 to December 29th, 1845. And Texas is the only state to enter the Union by treaty. The most common misconception,
we can't secede from the nation anymore. They changed it. As much as we want to secede.
This will directly change what I said last week. What I said last week was 100% possible.
The flag?
I do remember. Yeah, I remember learning that.
No,
the most common misconception about that treaty is that Texas is the only state to fly its flag at the same height as the American flag. That is 100% false.
It may not be because of the treaty.
Right. But they still can.
But we still can. Because we're. But
I did say it was in the treaty. So that was. I remember learning.
It may not be in the treaty, but it's probably in our somewhere we can. But I have an interesting fact though about Texas. There's 254 counties, 254. If you guys are from the 254, want to hear it. 254 281 330 8004. Whose number is that? You know whose number that is? 281 330. Mike Jones.
Oh yeah, truth. I was just thinking though. You got to get Heather's boys on here to rap the 254 rap.
I don't even know.
Riley,
there's a 254 rap.
Oh, Riley, Colby, and Ty used to jam to that rap, and Ty played it the other day when I was in Utah for work. He still knew some of the words. He was still jamming to it. We were laughing so hard.
So put this on the poll, and if you're listening to the show right now, you cannot answer. All I want you to do is, for the answer, I want you to put
number.
I listened on the show, and I want you to put whose number is 281 334. Like 281 330 8004. So whose number is that? We're gonna put that on the poll. Okay, so there's 254 counties in the state of Texas. And if you look, they're all very similar in size. They're not, it's not like straight lines. There's some of them like in the Panhandle, they're straight squares, but or rectangles. But they created, it was like, why are there so many counties in Texas? Why are there like small little counties? And the reason was they made small counties so that you could drive to the county seat. Man, I keep doing this like Ratatouille. County seat.
Somebody did comment.
I did see that.
And they were like, do not pronounce it that way, sir. Oh, did you? I haven't looked yet.
Like, I don't even know why. I did that. So you were supposed to be able to drive to the county seat in 1 day's time. So it should only take you a day to get to the county seat to like go to the courthouse.
Right.
And then get back home. So that's why they made the county so small, because you were riding on horse. And they wanted to make it to where you weren't spending days driving. Driving is not the word.
You spend days driving just to get out of freaking Texas on a car.
Yeah,
can you imagine on a horse?
Yeah, so they made the counties, the counties smaller so that people could get there in a day riding their horse.
Okay, so I'm going to make a prediction right now. Chad, I do not believe listens to the podcast. Bear, I know you listen, so don't tell your dad. But my prediction is when we post this poll, Chad will be the first one to respond to whose number is 281
Oh, he'll know.
8004.
Back then, you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. You're all on me. Back then, you didn't want me. All right. Did you ever call Mike Jones's phone number? That's the next question. I might post that one later. Did you ever call? This is on Reddit. Did you ever call Mike Jones' phone number? People would call the number 40,000 times a day.
Holy shit.
40,000 times a day.
He had to change his number real quick.
Somebody said they use it in their autofill when it says they need your phone number.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good idea.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to start doing that from now on. I want to call it now.
All right.
Do you think somebody's going to answer?
Here we go. 281-330-8004.
Put it on speaker. Let's see what happens.
The person you are calling cannot accept calls at this time. We're sorry for any inconvenience this may cause. Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
I mean,
Mike Jones.
That's got to be.
Accept calls.
That's got to be like, that was his real number. Like, he really posted his real number. Like, that's my number. Like, idiot.
He probably didn't realize he was going to get that big.
Oh, man, that's funny. But it's literally a number they have to, like, take out. Like, they can't.
Yeah.
Nobody ever can have that phone number ever again.
Now, I'm curious. Does anybody have the number 867-5309?
Well, what's the zip code? What's the area code?
That's my point. Like, could there just be a random... We need to look at who uses that number, like 526. We know it's clean.
I did.
867?
There was something that I would listen to. The radio, and there would be a commercial, like talk radio and stuff. And there was a commercial, and it was call 1-800-867-5309. Like, so somebody had gotten that number.
They wanted that to be an easy number to remember.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what the company was.
Right.
But 867. My favorite thing about like these songs, like 867-5309, like it just reminds, like that's Jenny's number, obviously. Jenny's number is
right.
But I only know that because I've got it Googled right now because I didn't really listen. Like, I was young back then.
Right.
When did that song get released? When did that song get released?
I was gonna say 84.
81.
81. You weren't even born.
75309.
I was gonna say 81, but then you said I was little, so then I was like,
well, I didn't look. I said I was little before I looked to see.
Got it.
Anyways, all these songs, like the funniest one is like, "I'm in love with Jesse's girl," right? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Jesse's girl. It's like, who's Jesse? Like, is it his friend? Like Saturday Night Live did a sketch and it was like the lead singer was singing and the dude's name, it was Jesse's girl that he was like, he was like the band member. And he's like, dude, what are you like? Why are you singing a song about my girlfriend? So he like quits the band and then he starts singing about like, there's another one. And it was like, he's singing about that. And it was the next guy's like girl. And he's like, what is going on? It was pretty funny. You know who will not know 281-330-8004?
Mom and dad.
Yep.
Well,
I remember one time I had the rodeo. I was 17, and I had the Nelly CD, and it was in. And back in the day, like now I kind of listen to like, I don't always, but a lot of times I listen to the edited versions of things, and I had the Nelly CD, and it was definitely not edited. Anyways, Dad comes in, he moves my car, and if you remember, I had 212s and a
Loud
amp
car.
and bandpass speakers box. It was awesome with the Sony Explode. It was not the coolest thing, like the Sony Explode that you took you probably didn't take the face off. That's why I would take the face off and I would put it in the thing and I'd put it under my seat.
Yeah,
So.
It got stolen when they did a smash and grab in our neighborhood one time and broke into like 12 cars. Stole my Sony Explode.
So I had that, and Dad moves my car, and my music was always loud. And he moves the car, and he comes back in, he goes, Scott, what are you listening to? Talking about smoking L's in the back. And I'm like, I don't even know what smoking L's means, Dad. I have no idea. I don't listen to the lyrics. I just listen to the beat. That's what I told him. Which is true. Yeah, they won't know. They won't know. Okay, so last week I sent to my kids, I was editing the show on Sunday because I edit the show so we dropped the episode, if anybody's ever interested, Monday mornings at 2 a.m. So Sunday night at 10 p.m. is when I'm kind of like finishing editing the show. And so I texted my kids last week. So then I had them say, say it again. Say it again.
Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch. That was just it right there.
No, it wasn't. So I had them say that. So I just texted it to them, right? So it goes out and texts, and they're upstairs. I'm downstairs. All of a sudden, I start hearing Irish wristwatch, Irish wristwatch, Irish wristwatch, because I just said say this out loud. And then I said say this fast, 6 sheep, 6 sheep sick, and they couldn't do that either. I'm pretty good at that stuff. I don't know why.
You are pretty good. I will say. Did you get a cork?
You haven't yet. Oh, of course not.
No cork. Okay, so get a cork.
Okay, you think I got a cork?
I did.
You did. You told me. You told me like 2 days ago. You didn't remind me today.
You went to the store. Truth, I forgot.
You said I got to postpone the show because I got to go get tuna and oil, and I said I have to go get whatever. But I ain't got no cork. What do you think? I'm like popping champagne or what?
Go next door. Ask your neighbors who drink it. You can buy corks. Okay, so then
next time I'll get a cork.
Change.
So we're not going to do the cork, but do we have a?
No, we are going to do
tongue twister.
I do. So, Kuzak, listen to our show.
And I noticed you did not put the tongue twister onto the thing because I'm sure you didn't.
I did not because I didn't want you to cheat.
Okay. I better eat my Vienna sausage. It makes my tongue twister go better.
So she has them. So she is a teacher, and she's also over the theater team. And so she has them do warm-ups to focus on their enunciation.
So she was probably very proud of me for saying ratatouille.
I mean,
weren't you, Kuzak? Ratatouille.
You're not performing on a stage in front of
I'm performing. Hello.
Right. You know.
Ton of people watching right now.
Okay, so she sent me a list. So every week, and I don't practice them either because it does mean even if I practice, I still say Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. It still doesn't work out. So she did say though a couple of them. She said sometimes if their enunciation is really bad, I make them hold a cork in between their teeth and say it. So that's why I wanted. So I will save the one that I wanted you to say.
Could I put a Vienna sausage in between my teeth?
Probably not because you'd smash it or you'd eat it. What else do you have? Like a pin? Got a pin? Okay. So if we're going to do that, I'll put my chapstick tube. Now, I haven't done this at all, with or without. Okay, I just texted you the one that you're going to say with a pin. Do you have something like a little bit like wider? Hey, you need to go a little wider.
Wider.
All right, we'll try it with it.
How about this? How about a highlighter?
Okay, there you go. So I just texted it to you.
What?
You got to say it.
Really?
Okay, go for it. This is what she does her teen warms up with.
Okay. Can you even hear it? Does it even make sense?
Yeah, I can hear it. Does it even make sense?
I am not a... I am not the fig plucker, nor the fig plucker's son. I'll pluck figs to the fig plucking son.
Okay, now pull that out and say it again.
Down.
Say it fast.
Oh, jeez. You're trying to get me in trouble.
No reading. No reading and staccato.
Trying to get me in trouble. I am not. I am not the fig plucker, nor the fig plucker's son, but I'll pluck figs till the fig plucking's down. You said down, but I think it's supposed to be done.
Oh, done. Yeah, probably.
Pretty good.
That's a good one.
You know why?
You're pretty good at this.
You know why? Because I used to say, Peter Piper picked pickle peppers. Peter Piper picked pickle peppers. How many pickle peppers did Peter Piper pick? Also, how much wood? Oh, geez.
Okay, one more. One more.
Okay, here we go.
Don't read it first.
I'm not.
Don't read it first, cheater.
Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie.
Oh, that last word you got wrong.
I said menagerie. It was like menagerie, but it was menagerie. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary manager. Dude, that last word got me.
Got you again.
Okay, here it is. Had to crack my knuckles for that.
You actually cracked your knuckles. I always do this. I always make the noise like I'm pretending.
Wow, you know I got that.
I know. I've only ever seen Dad do it. I've never seen anybody
How do you see Dad do it? Okay, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're going to do what Dad does when he cracks his knuckles. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Crack.
Crack. Behind.
Boom.
Just like that.
Crack.
Always.
Nap. Okay.
Yep. I can't do that. I'm always like, I just pretend. I make the sound.
Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie.
Oh, you got it.
That was a good one.
Okay, I'm going to try both. Here we go. I am not the fig plucker nor the fig plucker's son, but I'll pluck figs till the fig plucking's done.
How many times
wasn't hard.
How many times you practiced that over the last 24 hours?
I mean, maybe a few.
You're like, I am not going on there and saying, I am saying fig plucker. I'm not saying the other thing. Truth.
All right. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining. Nope. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing. Oh, see, that's hard. Those two right there. Imagine an imaginary. Yeah. Imagine imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie.
So the one that got me is the imaginary menagerie at the end.
Yeah. I had to pause between.
Yes, you did.
Those are rough.
All right. We'll put those up on.
I have a whole list.
Here's what I want to do. We're going to add it. We're going to add it to our poll as well. And I don't know if we can post videos. I think we can post videos. I'd like to see people posting the videos of them doing that. So it'll be like us. It'll be like my perfect one so that other people have to do it. That'd be good. Okay. That'd be fun. Okay, so what are you going to do? You have a whole list of these. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie. Man, I'm good. I'm good at that.
You are pretty good.
So proud of myself.
Lie. But we'll do a new tongue twister every week.
Okay. We've done a lot of things we're going to do every week. There's like a bunch of stuff where we're like, okay, we're going to do this every week. Like the Hawaii word of the week. That was one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We were going to do like...
It's because we didn't record for a long time.
When was the last time we talked about...
add it in up here.
When was the last time we talked about getting pritch slapped or pritch and moan? Oh, Lou, get out of here.
Listen, things change as we go, right? I did have a pritch and moan for last week, though.
But you don't live in the... you don't live in the burbs.
I don't, but this was... I witnessed just the stupidest act the other day. So, again, roundabout. Right? And it's a 1-lane roundabout. The road's closed. It's a very tight road through there. And when you come out of the roundabout on the other side, it's 2-way traffic. There are cones in the middle of the road, like down the middle of the lane. Uh-huh. Ambulance is coming. So if you're in front of this ambulance in a roundabout, what do? There's no shoulder, nothing. What do you do?
I would assume you stop right in the middle of the roundabout. Just kidding. You get through the roundabout and then pull over.
Old lady stops right at the beginning of the roundabout, tries to pull over, but there's no way the ambulance can get around. So the ambulance is like, honk, honk, like, not only is the siren going, now it's like honking at her. She's just sitting there. So we're all like pulled over and waiting. And you can see like the guy, I look in the rear view, you can see the guy in the rear view doing the same thing that I'm doing, which is get out of the way, move, like yelling. So then she inches up little by little, and the ambulance is like trying to inch around because the roundabout also has cones all the way, and there's only so far it can go, you know?
Right.
I was just like, you idiot, you go through the roundabout and then move. Like, you get over as soon as you can. Because right on the other side of the roundabout is a place, starts to be the start of the street where you could pull over. So that was my pritch and moan last week. But
people are dumb.
Yeah.
People are really dumb sometimes.
For sure.
So, Holly, we are dog sitting a dog this week for spring break.
Olive.
Not Olive. Although, did you see Olive over at Lulu's birthday party?
I did. That was like the cutest thing. Those birthday party pictures were so cute. She looked so happy.
Oh, yeah. She had her
like
tutu
she's
on.
Smiling in the pictures.
She had her
tutu.
She had her tutu on. She did not take it off. She didn't try to get out of it. Just had a blast at her birthday party, which is funny because she had a birthday party, but like our kids didn't. This week, we are dog sitting a dog from the old church we used to go to in McKinney. We're still like on their Facebook page just because we're their friends. And somebody's like, hey, can somebody watch our dog? And it looks just like Lulu. So I'm sure we're gonna have a little party with the 3 dogs, I'm sure. At some point. She has the only difference so Lulu's a sheepadoodle. So she's Old English sheepdog and a doodle. And I got some mail. The mailman actually brought a package.
Or something.
Oh, by the way, it's probably some shirts, which by the way, just real quick interject. That's my Giants. There's no crying in baseball. Shout out to the Giants today. Shirt is available on my shop, ugtsrvd.shop, ugotserve.shop. Lots of Rangers fans. We have Rangers shirts. Anyways, that was a shameless plug. I know.
That was scary, but I wasn't going to say anything. I get it. Like and subscribe. So Lulu is a sheepadoodle, sheepdog, and a miniature poodle. They're mini. She's mini. Right.
Olive is a mini Aussie doodle. She's an Australian sheepdog and a
poodle.
Miniature poodle. And the dog we're going to dog sit is a mini Bernedoodle, if I'm not mistaken. And she is a miniature poodle and I think it's a St. Bernard, actually.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I'm like, a Bern. What would the Bern be short for? Interesting.
And she looks just like, but she has like a tail. This one has a tail.
You got a bunch of interracial dogs.
Yes, they're all black and white.
There you go.
It don't matter if you're black or white. Anyways, so that's coming up. But so we got spring break coming up this week. So we are not doing anything because in a couple more months we're going to Hawaii. And I just thought about this, Holly. First of all, we're going to have to do a show there. And second of all, my back has been really out of whack and I'm really concerned about it and traveling.
It's going to be a long day when you travel.
I'm really concerned about it. I'm more concerned that I can't referee football. That's what I'm more concerned about.
You need to go in and schedule in before you go. Honestly, go in and schedule in for a shot in your back. I know that you're like, I don't like that kind of stuff. I'd rather do natural. Listen,
no, I just
take it from somebody with back issues who had to sit on a plane.
It's true. Well, I'm going to see where I'm at. I'm going to see where I'm at. I was actually feeling really good. And then for some reason on Sunday, it just started flaring up again. Probably because I laid on my couch.
Well, I've got to swap my bed out. I got a bed. Mm-hmm. I bought a bed when I got here and it's Tempur-Pedic. You have 120 days. I didn't think about it. I got a soft bed. My doctor was like, when you get a new bed, you need to get a firm.
Yeah, we have extra,
firm,
super hard.
Yeah, it's like firm is like laying on like a building. Like,
yeah, but it's going to make your back feel so good.
The floor. I know.
The other night, it was so bad. I literally was awake for 3 hours. And I tried to get off the bed. So we have a firm bed, but then we have like a 3-inch topper, from Costco. And I literally couldn't get off the bed. I had to roll off the bed onto my knees and then push myself up. And I was like, I'm just going to lay on the floor. It actually felt okay, but then I'm like trying to sleep on the floor and it was terrible.
Right.
And then Lulu was like down there, like trying to like lick my face. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And my bed, with the bed being soft, and I have the one that it raises the base, raises up the mattress, so it can be like, they call it 0G, but it also vibrates. So I turn on like the vibrate thing because that does help like me fall asleep. But my back in the morning, oh my gosh, every morning it's like an old person, and it's starting to wake me up in the night. So I am going to call them and say, I need to swap this out. I've been having some back issues. I went to my doctor and he told me I need to get a firm bed. So it's still within the 120 days.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm going to swap it, get a firm, but
that's good.
I know I'll have to get used to it because I sure love my super soft bed though.
It's just not good on your back. Not good on your back.
It is not.
Speaking of not good on your back, I'm assuming this may have played into it. But, last time we talked about you competing in the canoe club.
Right.
And you were going to compete to win a spot on the A team because you're super athlete. And we've had that discussion. Who was the better athlete?
Right.
And because you made varsity soccer, like everybody made varsity soccer, they didn't have a JV team.
Yes, they did. And a freshman.
Whatever. Yeah, how's that going? Canoe club. The guy scared you. Big Polynesian dude up there. He's saying you're either in or you're out. Like, we don't want you.
So the more I started thinking about it, over the course of the week. And our first practice was this last Tuesday. And I start thinking about everything, and I'm going back through notes. And I felt it would be unfair to the team to commit. And this is true. This is true, but it's also other factors played in because I do travel a lot. And I am planning on being gone basically for the month of June to be in Texas for the Giants game, to take care of all my stuff down there. Like, I've already had this plan for a long time that in the month of June, I'm not here. And he specifically says, June to September, don't travel. Well, then also some stuff going on with work that once a quarter, I'm now going to have to travel back to Utah for a week, basically. So to me, it just was kind of...
Yeah, it makes sense.
It doesn't make sense for me to join that. Secondly, the more I thought about it, I'm like, I've never even paddled before. Like, yeah, I've done rowing and I love rowing. But it's also like, hey, I played soccer. That doesn't mean I love lacrosse. You know what I mean? Or rugby.
Well, I mean, so, you rowed for a competitively in Tahiti, so...
Correct. So, I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about switching from competitive rowing in Tahiti to paddling in Hawaii. And then, I mean, let's be honest. My body already hates me. Like, why am I joining?
That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt your back big time.
Right. And so I just thought, I just feel like I can't do that. And so I'm like I send a text to, a few of my friends that's just, and I might have sent it to you where I just kind of said, I'm not going to do competitive rowing. And Elizabeth's response back is like, hold up, this was a competitive league? I thought this was like a rec league. She's like, good choice. So I really just decided, talking to Skaren about it, I'm like, listen, I watch those girls who get out there and they're competing. Like, I've seen the practices. Like, they do not mess around. They are out there like going full speed. And then I've also watched the rec league where they're out there just like, hey, what's going on, man? Drinking their beer, having a good time, paddling. Right. And I'm like, I feel like that's me. I mean, I'm almost 44. I don't want to compete for shit anymore at my age.
Yeah.
I just want to have a good time. So decided I'm going to switch to the rec league and just paddle. I mean, they still have practices where they go out there, and I wouldn't call it a practice. It's more like, hey, this is when we all paddle together. But they also do sunrise, sunset paddles. And then you can go and use the boats and canoe, whatever. So that's kind of my new thing. Like, I just am kind of over, I don't feel like I want to be competitive at my age anymore. I just want to chill. And
does that mean you're not going to compete driving your car anymore? Because you said before that.
I mean, that's no competition. I win every time.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about that. Although I will say, your nephew, Coda, loves my car. Like, it's his dream car. I'm sure. So I go to dinner over there. I go to dinner over there on Sunday.
Which, by the way, I've never met Coda before, I don't think. Just FYI.
Probably not. But he's funny. He's cute. He's like 17, 18, but he just loves this car. And he's like, I could take you to some races and you would just beat everybody. You could just go and race them. You'd be faster than any other car out there. You can win thousands. And I'm like, listen, Coda, I appreciate that. It's not going to happen.
You can win thousands.
You'd just be racing against
we got 200 pesos.
1990s. You'd be racing against like these 1990 Civics and blah, blah, blah. And you'd show up and you just scare them. And I'm like, yeah, at my age, I don't need to do that. Like, I just don't feel...
Not even for the money? You've been looking for, a side hustle. That's like, hello.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would. That's just not the side hustle I want to do. Maybe back in my 20s or 30s, but now I'm like, no, I'm good. Totally not interested in that. But when Susan and I went on our road trip, I don't remember if I told you this story. We got into a pack of those types of, I don't know. We always called them rice burners. I don't know what, if that makes sense to everybody, what they are, the Civics we got into a pack of those and they travel all through Jeremiah was saying, oh, you'll get like 30, 50, 100 of them all together, especially on the weekends. And they'll go drive all over the island, and so we got into a pack of those when Susan and I were going to North Shore. And we turned where they turned because we were going to look at it's called Chinaman's Hat. So we was going there to take a picture, and those dudes were all waving and, hey, how are ya? They loved my car. Of course, Susan's like, we should go talk to them. I'm like, no, I'm good. But it was just funny because I'm like, I'm totally not interested in that. But anyway.
You should do it for thousands of dollars. Thousands. No. You could win thousands.
Thousands. Not interested.
You could win 200 pesos. So no more canoe club.
No
competitive.
More. As far as competitive, just rec.
Just rec.
I'm just waiting for a response. I figure they're on like Hawaiian time though, because I sent the email last week and haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So, all right, Holly, you moved to Hawaii. First of all, my dog, just real quick, couple things. My dog is barking because it's school release, which Pritch and Moan segment, Pritch and Moan real quick. Wasn't even raining yesterday. And we get a text message. It's like, we are doing rainy day pickup because it was rainy, but it wasn't raining. And I go pick up Jace. Guess what car I am? Last. I'm so last that the lady that was okay, so when you pull into the back, they're like, so it's like half. So like A through M is front of the school, right, and the rest are in the back of the school. So we're in the back. The lady that calls ahead, like you pull up and she's like 102, 104, because all the kids have a number, and then they say, okay, that kid goes.
That's some high level organization.
Oh, dude, it's legit.
Like ours, where it was like, Mom!
Not elementary school. Middle school's that way. Elementary school's like down, man. They got it. So we get a number and we put it up in the rearview mirror, and then they're like 104, and then they know 104 is Jace or whatever his number is. I don't even know what the number is. And because I've never used it. Last year, we never one time had rainy day pickup last school year. So this school year, right now, they just said rainy day pickup. I get there on the last one. The lady's not even there anymore. The lady calls the car in front of me, and I'm like down the way a little bit, and I see her like turn and call the guy in front of me, and then she turns and walks away, and I pull in, and then she turns and sees me kind of pulling in, and I just went in. Like, that's how late I was, because I can't get out of my driveway. Literally cannot get out of my driveway. So I'm like, so I go in, I pull up, and Jason's in there, and he's like, I told him, I said you'd be last. I told my teacher, I said you're gonna be last. My dad's gonna be the last one. So then we have open house last night. So we go to open house, and he goes to his teacher, and his teacher's like, oh, I saw your dad picked you up. And he goes, yep, but he was last. And I was like, and why am I last? He's like, because you can't get out of the driveway, and then by the time you get out of the driveway, you gotta wait for all the cars. So I'm like, why sit behind all these cars? Anyways, so not even raining, they make us do rainy day pickup. I was like, you freaking kidding me? Like, live 4 houses from, like, he could have walked home. Like, the rain, he gets out of school at 3. The rain didn't start till 3:30. That's how long it was before I go back. Down? I can't. You can't. When it's rainy day pickup, you can't walk and go get your kid. Like, they
don't let you walk to pick them up?
No, that's why they don't.
What if you just walk and hold the sign in front of your face?
It doesn't work. Anyway, it's ridiculous. That's
the craziest shit ever.
So I'm like, dude, you gotta sit there and wait till 3:30. Sorry, bud. Because usually car line's done at like 3:10. It's like 10 minutes, and they're picking up half the school. There's 1,000 kids at a school. Right. That was first. Second, real quick, I've been chowing down. You've seen me chowing down on this Vienna sausage sandwich, and absolutely one of the greatest things I've ever eaten. So just FYI, I'm loving it.
Nasty.
So we send you to Hawaii. You think you're moving to Hawaii because you're like, hey, I'm moving to Hawaii. But realistically, what we've done is we've planted inside your brain, like, we need a process server in Hawaii. So therefore, we're sending Holly to Hawaii to serve papers. And you didn't want to do it till you got your car, which understandable. And then, here we are.
And so I looked up when I was thinking about coming down before I had talked to you, and I said, hey man, do you ever serve papers in Hawaii? And you're like, I mean, rarely. We hardly ever have papers there to serve, and then you looked up the numbers, and it was like, I don't know, 20 over the course of 2 years. It was something very small.
Let me look.
So
since 2009, we've served 54 papers in Hawaii.
Right. Which is a little surprising to me. I'm not going to lie, because you serve out of a military base, and there are 4 military bases here. Now, granted, 2 are Army, but I'm just like, how do you not have more papers here? That's crazy to me.
2023, we did 1. 2022, we did 1. 2021, we did 2. 2020, we did a lot in 2020.
I would just think that you would have a lot more. Oh, freaking Lou. I would think that you would have a lot more just based on the fact that it's very close to 2 Army bases, but also 2 additional military bases. So anyhow, you send me this paper, and the guy's number is a 254 number.
Yeah, and Heidi actually texted me and said, hey, I got a paper at Schofield Barracks that said send it to Holly.
Right.
She's like, wait, can she serve? I'm like, yep.
Well, I had looked up, like, and I didn't know if I could serve, because I did look up, process serving in Hawaii, and it says you have to have a letter of recommendation from an attorney or another process server. That's the only requirement. So it was like, this is the requirement. I intended to have my landlord's, she worked, the accountant in a law firm. I intended to have her have one of the attorneys write a letter of recommendation. And she got fed up last week and quit effective immediately. So now I'm like, shoot, there goes my in with the law firm. However, I did find out last night when we were at dinner that she does talk to one of the attorneys still. So I'm going to see if she will have that attorney do it before she quits. So anyway, I call this guy, doesn't answer. I leave a message, doesn't return my call. So I text. I say, hi, my name is Holly. I have some legal paperwork for an unpaid debt based out of Texas. I need to serve you. I'd like to get it directly to you and not involve your command. Because that's like the fear of every soldier, is that their command is going to get involved in their personal life. Yeah. They do not want that. So I said, please give me a call or text and let me know when you are available to meet. Thanks. Now, again, we both have 254 phone numbers. So this dude sees that and he's probably laughing like, idiot. He responds back, well, I live in Hawaii now. And I respond back, I know, so do I. Long pause. That kid is thinking, fuck.
Yep.
He's here too. Oh my gosh. So he's like, well, I don't have my car. So you can meet or bring them on Monday. So I was like, perfect. I can be there Monday. What time? I can also come anytime tomorrow or Saturday if that would be more convenient. He's like, yeah, tomorrow's fine. Did they send the papers in the mail? And I'm like, nope, I'm a process server. So I use an app and then I print the paperwork and I am required by law to hand it to you. And the only address I have is your barracks address. Is there another place you'd like me to meet you? Because he also probably doesn't want to meet him at the barracks. Correct. Because then somebody's going to tell on him that he was served with paperwork. Yep. So he's like, yeah, meet me at the Domino's. And I'm like, all right, what time? He's like, it doesn't matter. Like 2:00. I was like, all right, sounds great. I'll send you a text. And I'm like, is this the Domino's at building 752? He's like, yes, perfect. I'll see you. And I said, perfect. I'll see you then. And then a little while later, I texted and said, remember, I don't want to get your command involved. Because then my buddy is like, do you think he's going to show up? And I'm like, well, I feel like he would. He's like, yeah, but he seems dense. And I'm like, I said, yeah, he does seem dense. But after I said, I know, so do I. If he didn't want me to serve him, he would have stopped responding. Yeah. But
he knows he's getting served. And like you said, it's very easy to find who his command is. Right. I don't know how easy it is on Schofield Barracks, but it's very simple at Fort Hood. Always be Fort Hood. Yeah. Very simple at Fort Hood for us to find the command. In fact, the MPs, we've only had like maybe once or twice where the people are like, I'm not coming down. And they can't.
MPs can't necessarily
force them. The MPs can't do anything. But the command can't really force them either.
Oh, the command can. Yes, the command can. The command
but I think he was the command. I think he was the command.
You could have gone above the command, but that's considered an order. Like if the command says you will go at this point and meet this person and they say no, that's dereliction of duty. That's, your subordination. You're not obeying an order.
And I don't even know if it was Fort Hood. I can't remember, but there was one. I think it was actually out of state. It was at another military base and the guy just wouldn't come. Yeah. And I don't know. But
I did call the MP station.
But with what this guy's being served, chances are he's an E4 or below.
Oh yeah. And he's young. And the funny thing was though, when I did call the MP station, you could tell the kid who answered the phone was young, had no clue. I won't go so far as say he's an idiot, because he probably just doesn't know. So when I said, hey, I'm a process server, and I called them before I texted and called the kid, because I was just going to say, hey, because a lot like what Dad was saying, you just go in and you talk to the, the civilian police liaison. Usually what they do is they call, the kid will come down. That's how they do it. So I said, okay. So I called the police station, MP station, and the guy's like, oh, we can't serve paperwork. Like that's, we're federal government, blah, blah. I said, oh, no. I don't want you to serve. I just want to know what's the protocol. Like, can I come onto base to serve this guy, to get in there, whatever? And he's like, let me ask. So then he asked and he's like, yeah, you can come on as long as you can get on the base. And so I said, so can I come to you guys and you guys can call him down? Like, how do you do it? He's like, no, you just have to go to like the address you have. So I'm going to go to the Domino's, because this is an hour drive for me also. So I'm going to go to the Domino's.
Really?
Yeah, it's about an hour. It's
Dang,
48 minutes, but my guess is I'm going to hit some traffic. It's probably going to be a little bit longer.
I guess I owe you extra money.
So, well, I just
I'm gonna pay you $601.
oh, I hate you.
So you get a 1099. Just
But
kidding.
yeah, so I'm like, all right. I've decided if this kid doesn't show up at the Domino's at 2, then I'm going to go to the MP station and ask for, the police liaison or whatever it is, civilian liaison, and go that route. But I just keep reminding him.
No, he'll be there. He'll show up. I mean, these army guys, they don't know, they get scared, and they should. I mean, it's like, it's serious stuff. Like, I know it's like a maybe stupid lawsuit, but you borrowed money, you didn't pay it back.
Gotta pay it.
You know what I mean? And so,
I mean, there's two facets to this. One, you borrowed money, you didn't pay it back, but it's so little. And I say that knowing that when I was young, that probably was a lot. But the fact that why didn't you just call and say, I need to make other arrangements. Like, I can't make this payment.
Yeah, I don't even know how much it is. I haven't even looked at the papers, but I do feel bad. I mean, especially these kids that are, I'd see it in Colleen all the time, especially at the dealership. They're coming in, they've never had money before. You know what I mean? They're an E2 and they're making $1,600 a month. You know what I mean? $1,700 a month. They live
their car payment's $1,000.
They live on the military base, and they have no credit. So it's, they have no credit. So they've got this high interest rate, and they're paying, for, at the time, a Ford Focus when I was working at the dealership, and it's, $600, $700, $800 a month,
Yeah.
And then they're like, I can't afford it. I mean, probably the hardest thing for me, the worst thing I ever had was when we rented our house out, and I rented it to our first, our little house there in Colleen. I rented it to this military people, and I'd never rented a house before. I didn't really do a lot of digging and checking. It just, they said they could do it. And 4 or 5 months in, and it was $800 a month to live there. Right. And 4 or 5 months in, they didn't pay rent. And so they went and they got an emergency loan or something from the military to pay rent.
Right.
And they knew where I lived because that's where they paid rent, was to me at the house. Right. And, I'm a little like softy, right? And so they come to my house, they knock on my door, and they're young, young couple.
Right.
And they knock on my door, and they're there, and they're like, Scott, and I knew it probably took a lot for them to get over to the house. And they're like, Scott, we just can't afford it. Like, we can't afford, and we're going to end up having to break our lease, and we don't want to do that. But we just cannot afford to live at that place. And, because it was rent, and it was electricity, and it was water. I mean, it's a whole deal. And they'd probably never
you don't consider that.
Yeah. And they'd never probably like been in a place like that. And so I just, I just let them out. Like, I'm like, yeah, no problem. Like, literally they live here for 4 months, and they're like, we will help you find somebody. Like, we'll help you. Like, I know somebody I can refer. Anyways, they referred me to somebody who ended up living at the house for a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. And, they tore the house up a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. But really, I just felt bad because, I just felt bad for them because it's like, they're young. Like, we were young. I mean, they weren't much younger than us. I mean, Val and I were literally probably 24, 23, 24 years old, and renting our house out for the first time. And just knowing the military, like, these guys don't make a lot of money, and definitely felt bad.
They have no clue. And that's the thing that I think, like, this is was going to be my second point, was I'm angry that these types of businesses exist. They're so predatory. Like, this loan interest, like, it had the original loan paperwork. This kid was never going to pay this loan off. The amount of interest in it is so high. I mean, I can remember one time in my life, I had to go get a payday loan because something had happened with my ex-husband's paycheck. And it was like something happened. We didn't get paid. It was when he was working overseas, Northrop Grumman. I can't remember what the deal was. It had something to do with maybe like the taxes or whatever the deal was. And I'm like, I have to go get this loan because they were like, we're going to get you this money in X amount of days. You'll have money. I go get this loan. Bro, I'm not even lying. The interest rate I'm going to tell you right now is straight off that paperwork. 84.7% interest.
Yeah. From the guy right now?
No, from mine.
Yeah.
And I actually had like not bad credit. I didn't have great. They're just so predatory. So I ended up, it was if you could pay back within 3 days, you didn't owe any of the interest. And I knew I was going to have that money. So I went in, paid it back within those 3 days. Oh, and they were so angry. They were so mad about it. But there's no way this kid who's making nothing can pay this off, and it's so angering that how is this not
illegal
against the law?
Yeah, these payday loan places, man. Rate? It's crazy. What the amount is. It's crazy. And I mean, 84, 115. I've seen like in the hundreds. Like I borrowed 200, I had to pay back 450. Like
that is so crazy to me. Yeah, but it is nuts. And I think that I have to say, like everybody's like you do, and it's like it's a business. Like you renting out your home, that's a business. But I think the biggest thing is you have to have some sort of compassion. You have to be able to be empathetic and put yourself like, hey, we were young once who we didn't know. And this couple probably got married. They're probably 18. The kid's shipping off, so his girlfriend is going to marry him. And when they're sitting down and looking at finances in their mind, they can make this work on paper. But the reality is, you don't consider. You
don't know how much the water bill is.
The things that come up, right? Water bill, not only just those, just everyday life.
Yeah,
everyday life happens.
And it's tough, and so that's why for me, like I'm pretty compassionate to people, period, because I had the tough times. Like I've had the times of crying on my pillow, wondering how I'm going to pay the mortgage. I think we've borrowed money one time from somebody.
Right.
And, I borrowed the money because I started my business in February. In December, I made at the time, my biggest client was Brett. And he gave me 2 papers and they were $65 a piece. And I had a couple of other things come in, but that was like the first month where all my money was gone that I had saved. And I just remember like people they don't understand the struggle that it takes sometimes when you start a business and those things. And they think where I'm at right now, like, oh, it's been 16 years. Right. And I literally was crying on my pillow. And at the time, we just had Jared. So I'm like, I don't know how we're going to have Christmas. I don't know. And he was young, so it really wasn't a huge deal. But the main thing was I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage. My mortgage at the time was like $1,200 or $1,300, and I'm like, I don't have the money. So I don't know if that was the time, but I did borrow money from mom and dad one time. That was it. Yeah. It was $1,000. And I said, I'll pay you back every month. And so I paid him back a little bit every month. I think $100 a month. I paid him back. And that was it. And after that, it was like, I never want to have to rely on other people. I just want to build my own deal and not have to worry about it and not have to worry whether I have money in the bank or I don't have money in the bank. And, we lived on before I quit my job, one thing that saved us because you couldn't pay your mortgage. I don't even know if we did. I can't remember how we paid the mortgage. I guess we borrowed the money. I don't remember. But before we quit the job, we called all of our credit cards and asked for an increase in can I get a credit line increase? And they all gave us an increase. And so that's how I lived for a long time, was on credit cards and then paying back a little bit. So when people come to me and they're like I've been there, I know, and I want you to grow from this, but I'll help you. And so with these people, hey, yeah, no problem. I'll let you out of the lease. The last person we rented to, she had it was a bad deal with her husband, but he wasn't supposed to be living there. We didn't know she asked if he could live there. I said yes. Come to find out, I didn't know they had 17 dogs, but they just skipped out one day, just gone. And
is this the couple that the other guys referred, or this was a different?
No, this is different. Oh, so this was after. So the other people referred, and then Mel and Steve moved in, and then after Mel and Steve moved out, this other girl moved in, and just gone. One day gone. And Val and I show up to the house. We open the door, and instantly, our legs are covered in fleas. Instantly. And so we bombed the house. We get it all. And I go find her. I find out where she is. I don't know how. I just went to her old address and knocked on her door, and there she was. She's like, "How'd you find me?" I'm like, "I don't know if you know, this is what I do for a living, is I try to find people." And she's like, "Oh yeah." Anyways, I went to the house, and I said, "Here's your bill. Here's your bill. You owe me rent. You've broken all these things. There's 20 plus holes in the walls. Here's your bill." It was $3,000 or $4,000. And I said, but I knew she didn't have it, and I knew I would never get it from her.
Right.
And she had left her husband. It was really a bad situation. Right. And I said, the main thing is, I'm glad you're safe. That's the main thing. I said, but all I want you to do is to come to the house and to help us clean out your crap, basically. Clean out your stuff.
Right.
And I won't even worry about this.
Did she?
That girl showed up. She showed up. Yeah. She cleaned out the house. She got rid of stuff. She emptied out the house. I said, that's all I want. And because I wasn't going to get the money back. So I was out.
It was just going to cost you money to take her to court to get the money. I was
going to go to court to get the money to do what? She's not going to pay it. She has a default judgment against her, but like, what does that do for her? And so like, talk about like getting beat down. Like, unfortunately, like it's a figure of speech, but physically that was part of it for her. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that to her. And so I just made that decision. So,
and your hope is, I think in situations like that, your hope is that the person learns from that and extends the same type of compassion one day, and that's why, like, for me, it was always, I did a lot of things in my teen years and 20s where I wasn't, until I was probably mid 20s, I didn't really have a job that paid every week. I mean, I had HEB supplement, but that was always on and off, and I bartended. And so as a bartender, I mean, you do spend a lot of money on drinking, it took me years to admit that I probably blew more money than I should have. And so I did borrow a lot of money from mom and dad back in the day and whatever. And when I finally got my shit together and got to a point where it's like financially I'm stable, everything else, I didn't forget all the people that helped me. And that's why, like, everybody, like, you always get on me about over tipping. I've been in the situation where you do a really good job and you work really hard and you put everything into it. And at the end of the night, for those 6-7 hours that you worked, you made $100. Like, what is that going to get you? So yes, I do. I'm also of the type that... Let's be
clear. Like, I don't get on you like, how dare you tip? I just am like, dang, girl, you tipping like 120%. Sheesh.
Right. And, and the other thing is, it's like, if I'm in a position to help, I will help, because so many people extended their help to me. And so for me, I learned, and that's what you hope that girl could look back and say, this guy extended, this to me. How can I do something in the future? And maybe even if it's just learning to have courage to go to the person and say, I'm in this situation. It's terrible. I know that it's shitty and I'm going to break the lease. Yeah. But I want to be upfront and honest. Like, maybe that's all it was. Like, now she'll have the courage to, because I think a lot of times what makes people not do things like that is fear. Like, fear of what's going to happen. It's fear of the unknown.
They think that, I think him coming to me, like, and saying, hey, we just can't do it. Like, they're standing there on my door.
Oh, that took courage. So much courage.
Together. Like, they're standing there together. And I don't remember, like, them having, like, an overly expensive car or anything like that. Like, they lived within their means. They just, we thought we could do it and we just can't.
Right.
And I said, yeah, no problem. You guys are there till the end of the month. Like, we'll figure it out. But I'm glad you came and told me, because I'd rather that than, like, not have checked on that there's somebody at the house for 15 days and, like, show up like I did the last one, because we didn't even live there. And I send over, Dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, go check on this house. Like, so he goes over there and he's like, there's nobody there. And it was actually a blessing, because at that point we were able to, move our office there, and he was able to sell the house and, all that stuff.
Right. And I just think, though, in the end, you would hope, I think that fear drives so many things and so many people to make decisions or not make decisions. Like, I didn't really travel. I wanted to travel since I was 18 and I never really did. Why? I would always say, well, in 2 years, because one, I was always like, in 2 years when I'm financially stable, but it was also, I was just scared to go on my own.
Yeah.
Like, I was scared. And then I'm like, now it's like, shit, I wasted 20 years being scared.
Yeah. Fear holds fear holds you back. I mean, and just the fear of everything.
Fear of failure.
There's so many fears.
Failure. Yeah.
Like, the fear of poverty for me, like, that is what drives me, is because I fear, and that's, to me, like, that's an okay fear. Like, I fear, losing everything. So I just, sometimes I work probably more than I should.
More than you should.
And to a detriment sometimes of missing out on things. Like, so anyways, I just, like, it, I don't even know how we got here, but it, I guess the guy serving the papers. But I just think if you're just good, just be a good person. Like,
that,
I saw something today, and it's like, you know, I saw a reel today and they talk about debt, right? So the hotel owner, he has a guy that comes and visits the hotel. He stays for the night. He gives him $100. So the hotel owner says, "Oh, I owe the baker $100. I'm in debt to the baker $100." So he gives the baker his $100. And the baker says, "Oh, I'm in debt to, you know, the dairy farmer or whatever for $100." So he takes it and he gives the $100 to the dairy farmer. And the dairy farmer says, "Oh, I'm in debt to whoever." And so he goes and gives the money to him. And in turn, that person says, "I'm in debt to the hotel owner." So he takes the money back to the hotel owner for the $100. Well, the hotel has a 24-hour refund policy, and they say, "Hey, you know, like if you're not happy in 24 hours, you can get your money back." So the guy comes up and says, "Hey, I wasn't really happy with this." And so the hotel owner, who now has the $100 from the other guy who owed him the debt, gives the money back to the guy. Well, here's the thing. Everybody paid off their debt with the $100, but nobody had any more money than they had.
Truth. And
so it's like, you know, all this, like, what is debt? You know what I mean? Like, what is money? It's nothing. You know what I mean? Nothing. So when you think about it, like, I'm in debt. Yeah, I'm in debt. What? Like, I don't know. Like, it's crazy. Like, when I thought about it, I'm like, that's true. It's the same $100. Everybody's now out of debt. Nobody owes anybody any more money, but nobody has any money.
Right.
And debt can be wiped clean. Like, why don't we just wipe? Like, I'm not a proponent of this, but like, if we just wiped debt free, everybody just debt free and then start fresh. Like, I would be totally for that if it happened for 100% of the people. Like,
I'm like, wipe out those student loans.
Wipe out everything, because what are we out? What are we out? Like, when it's all said and done, like, if everybody was debt free, like, and we just started fresh, like, what would matter?
Right.
Like,
it's true.
Okay.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
It's pretty mind blowing.
And I'm like, why don't we just blow this whole deal?
Would fail, blah, blah, blah. That's what everybody would say. But
no, because I still have money. I still have money and I'm still paying.
Right.
I'm still buying stuff. I'm still paying for things. So anyways.
It's a true statement.
It's an interesting thought.
One more thing though, I have to say.
Okay.
One more thing I need to say though. Like, going along the lines of like being an empathetic person, like one thing that I try to do a lot, and this just was like something that I thought of as we were talking, is like, the other thing along with like being empathetic and compassionate is I really try to put myself in the shoes of the other person.
Right.
When I'm talking to them, because one thing is, words can't physically hurt you, but words can affect you for years after they're said. And there was one time, you know, with my ex-husband, we had very tumultuous relationship, and regardless of how everything went down and how I feel about him and whether or not I believe him, he made a statement one time, and you know, he said he wanted to apologize one of the thousands of times, and this was the last time he apologized. So, you know, I don't know, neither here nor there, but what he said was, you know, I said a lot of things to you to push you away, not realizing how detrimental it would be to your mental health. And in the end, it wasn't worth it. And I know I can never take back the words. And no matter how many times I say I'm sorry, for the rest of your life, you will remember those words that I said. And he said, out of everything that I did and put you through, I'm most sorry about that, because I know you'll get over everything else that you went through. But those words that I said to you will always nag at you.
Yeah.
And you'll always remember them. And so for me, that's what I try to remember every time I am going to say something to someone or put something out on a comment on Facebook or whatever it is. I try
just don't hit send.
Yeah. And there's a lot of times where I'll type out something. I'm an angry email. I'm going to type it out, but I'm just not going to send it.
Yeah.
Or I'll type out a comment.
I do all the time.
The whole thing.
Write the whole thing.
About somebody who wrote
Don't
Jesus talked about Jesus, and I had something, and I was like, you know what? I don't know that person.
What good is that going to do?
Right. So for me, type it out if you feel a certain way. Just don't hit send.
Yeah.
Because in the end, what good is that doing other than making somebody feel bad about something that they did and probably already feel bad about, or something they said?
Yep.
And so just remember that even though words don't physically hurt, they hurt the soul. I mean, they really do.
Yeah, they stick there.
And I'm good with my self-esteem now. You know, I went through therapy. I went through things that I wasn't okay after the divorce, but now I'm fine. But I still, that little nagging voice inside of me sometimes will pop up with the words he said. And I'm able to brush them off, but they still, to this day, bother me just a little bit. Yep. So food for thought.
Well, good. Anyway. That was a good little rant there that we went off on, a little tangent. But Holly, look at that picture I just sent you. Let's close it out with that. And just wanted to see your reaction to that. That reminded me of your.
I was trying not to laugh.
I saw that, and that reminded me. This picture reminded me of your AI photos. So maybe I'll post it.
On that note,
maybe not. On that note, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Take care, everybody. See you later.
Aloha.
Hey, what's up, my channel? Please hit the drop a like and hit the subscribe button. Looking for my first subscriber. Can't subscribe myself. Can't do that for some reason. I don't know why. Wish you could.